Welcome to Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise and News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA, and brought to you by the Jefferson School Foundation with Markiana and Price coming to you from the studio in downtown Charlottesville. Today we are thrilled to be joined by Charlsie Stratton, Charlottesville native, the Deputy Director of Children and Family Services with the City of Seville, and the co-founder of Birth Sisters of Charlottesville, where she's a doula.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
My favorite part of your bio was like, main hater of racism, decaf, and turkey bacon. I said, hey, you know what? I need those. I actually am I was like, actually, I'm also a hater of all three of those things.
Absolutely. Why do we need those?
That's a good three.
Yes, I was like, what are things? I'm trying to think of things that I like.
I was about to say, I don't know that I have any additions or subtractions to that.
What are things that I will not stand for?
Don't stand for it.
There's a lot of things actually, but I can't name them in a list.
Yeah.
What would you add to that list if you had to get to 5?
Remember I told you I don't like when people say the times were like quarter.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like I don't stand behind it.
That's weird.
You want the numbers?
Yeah, please say the numbers to me.
That's a bizarre grade. That doesn't really meet the muster of like.
It's like and telling time with quarters. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just like
don't do it.
The way people describe chronology.
Don't do that. Yeah. I need to think. I was like, oh God, I should have a list of things that I don't tolerate.
Just the top 3.
My bio do not say nothing about the things I dislike, and that's a missed opportunity for me.
People need to know.
Interesting. Yeah, those are good. I think that wasting food would be number 4 to me. That's a big one.
Why turkey bacon?
It's not bacon.
Just
are you one of those people who hate Beyond Meat?
Syntactically doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
right?
I don't hate it. I hate the term. Like,
because bacon is something.
Bacon.
It's
bacon
something.
Is a thing. Yeah. Just call it a turkey strip.
Yeah.
So I asked someone about this. It was one of these episodes, and someone mentioned that, and I was like, "Is all of the milks?
Mm-hmm.
Is that real? And like, not is it a real thing, but like, does it
milk?
Make sense? Like,
right.
Is that milk? Can
is
you just say it's coconut milk? It's a different thing, right?
It's coconut water or almond extract.
But there's different things. Like
they're not milk.
Like
milk
words
is
mean things. I thought, but to your point, like, can we just do that? Can we just be like, oh, this is like? I heard someone say an open-faced calzone one time, and I was like, that's a pizza.
And then
it's just a pizza.
The one I used to hate is vegan leather. I was like, isn't that plastic?
It's plastic.
I seen a company was like vegan leather. I said, so this is not rawhide. This is you can't vegan leather didn't come from an animal.
It didn't.
It's synthetic. Y'all built it. Like, this is crazy. That's
interesting.
It. That's one of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, here we go.
Vegan leather. I refuse to buy in.
Very good.
I don't care about saving the cows if it means that y'all are calling my leather fake.
Okay.
It's fake.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Not that I have a lot of leather, but if I did, I'm against it.
If I were, if I were to be. Well, thank you for braving the rest of the weather. And how was how long were you snowed in for? Did you or were you one of those people that's like, once it starts, we go, we shovel, we get out? Or were you like, well, it's just going to be?
Mm-mm. We hunkered down hard.
Okay. Got
2 dogs, and we found blankets and snuggled in. Like, that was it.
Okay.
We freed ourselves on Wednesday. After.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you? How long were you in for?
It was no time. I think my dad needed my truck to drive to work, so he shoveled it out. I didn't touch a shovel. I didn't slip and fall. Like, I didn't put no salt down. My daddy, he got me.
I love that.
Like,
there you go.
I'm my daddy daughter. Like, please,
okay.
he need to handle it.
Help me.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's Charlsie, byproduct of your dad's name.
It's not. He did pick the name.
Okay,
but.
Because mine is. My dad's name is Mark.
Okay.
And he said, you know what would be so funny? I put a feminine ending on Mark and called her Markiana.
And here you are.
It works, though.
It does work.
I was like, you did that. Okay, you did a little something. Made up a name. How people do.
You're going to stop breaking that mic. One of these, the sounds you're hearing are the technology in this lovely studio being manhandled by my co-host here. So you're from town. Tell us a little bit about that. We'll get back to the weather and all the nonsense. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and growing up, and then we'll keep it moving how we do.
Sure. I am born and raised in Charlottesville.
Where in town were you?
I grew up on Longwood. With Jackson Via Jackrabbit.
I was in Fry Springs. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. My mama is a native of here. My dad is from the Eastern Shore, so he came here for school and met that lady. And
that lady.
Here me and my brother are. Yeah, so we grew up, we've been in Charlottesville our whole lives. He's now my brother's now in Houston, but I ran away to school for a little bit and it sucked me back in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. When were you at Jackson High?
Oh, see, that's math. I was born in 84. Okay. So.
Oh, you would have just missed. I was there in 94, 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just missed her.
Just
That's right. Have you been, and this is like a weird thing that I did not recently, but like I went back just like to meet with someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, had, some memories of like the library and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I thought the school was bigger.
Yes.
That always somebody else said that.
I was like, where's the rest of it? I'm like looking for the other hallway, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
I heard people say that.
It's a school for little kids. Like, what did you think it would be?
So tiny. Everything is so small. The shelves are like at your knee.
But like the library and then like all the stairs.
Low.
Like I was like, oh, there's like a downstairs. I mean, it felt like Hogwarts. I was like, the books upstairs and downstairs, and Nancy Lambert's running around and da-da-da. And I was like, what? Like, what happened? Like, is there less of it? They were like, no, you were 6.
There's more of you.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to see myself out. So you said, so this is an interesting and sort of familiar Charlottesville tale. Like, you left and came back. Where did you go? So two-part, like, where did you go and then why did you come back?
Yeah, I went to school in Newport News. I went to Christopher Newport. And Seeing you. Go Captains. And I loved and still do love the Tidewater area.
Yeah.
And thought that I would like eventually settle in there. And I didn't.
What happened? Did you
did
you try to and not? Did you just like?
Well, I came home after school and was like, I'm gonna get my life together.
Same.
I'm a be an adult and then I'm gonna slide on back. And I did not slide back. I just kind of settled in here. I got my degree or my bachelor's in sociology, and I always say my parents cursed me because they've always done a lot of human services work. Mm-hmm. And so I knew I wanted to do something in that realm, but had no idea what I wanted to do. And so I was, I'm kind of haphazardly finding my way. And so I just kind of like took a job.
Yeah.
Because you have to after you graduate from school. And I was like, I'll just take this job and then we'll figure out how we get back over there.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
We never got back over there.
You settle in.
Listen, yeah.
I never left. And I was like, oh, well, I like it here.
Yeah.
I don't got no qualms about it. But people leaving, they're like, I wanted to be a star in New York or California.
Well,
I'm like,
it's one of those things.
The biggest star you can be is at home in your hometown.
Is that true?
I don't know.
There is something about I think especially like community work. That was something that happened to me. Like I got into the community work and I was like, if I'm going to do this work, then why not do it where I grew up and where I know the space and people and can make an impact in a way that feels meaningful and, the history of the town and all the things. So.
I think that's a really interesting point. I wonder how much job function matters. Like, I wouldn't do this in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think the work's important, but it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Right, and I've thought about this. So I've talked about this before where, like, the work is inherently very difficult. And so, like, for the people who are sort of attuned to it, that's one thing. But, like, what is the extra 10%, right, when you're like, this sucks and it's not working very well and it's right, but like I think there's something to that. At least for me, it's like because this is where I grew up and those people were my teachers or those people were my classmates or like I've that's the difference, because I can very easily see myself of like, is this work important in Richmond? Totally.
Yeah.
But like when push comes to shove, I'm like, I don't live here. Like, I don't.
We keep doing it.
I didn't go to that
home.
school. Like there's something. There's the extra little bit for me that's like we were these kids.
Yeah, we were these kids. That's my cousin over there.
Right.
Like
that's right.
Those are my neighbors, and I just it is that extra like, okay, get you over that hurdle.
Yeah.
Like, keep going.
Yeah, right. You're right. Keep and I think then the next layer for me is obviously like I'm raising my own kids here. Yeah. So now that there's whatever that is. I've thought about that a lot of even for me of sort of being out and about and but I'm very I think confident saying if my job was different I might feel differently about what Charlottesville is and what I'd feel sort of less connected to it because I wasn't trying to do what we were doing. I'd be trying to write movies or do whatever. I think that the folks here who have come back are either sort of doing one of two things. trying to support the town that they feel, either sort of responsible for or indebted to, or like seeking solitude.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you don't fall into those two categories, you're like, I want to be in a city, and you're not winding your way back to Charlottesville, right?
Yeah.
You're doing what we thought we would do, which is like say hi to mom and dad and bounce.
Yeah.
And the people who've successfully done that, I think, are just a little bit differently hued to the like, no, I like, I want to be in DC, I want to be in Richmond, I want to be in New York. That ain't me.
You can take a girl out of the town, but you can't take the town out of the girl.
No.
It's true.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. So, you did sociology. What did you want to do when you were growing up? What did little Charlsie want to be?
She wanted to be everything. She was going to be a ballerina. The chunkiest ballerina you ever saw. Okay. At one point, being a teacher was on my brain. There was always something around kids, for sure. Like I always wanted to do something with kids. I think teacher was probably the longest running career in my brain growing up. Yeah.
And so why'd you choose sociology? Just because it was a service, or like what is sociology?
Study of people.
Oh.
I started out as a psychology major.
Okay.
And I got through maybe the first semester, and I said, "Oh, girl, this ain't for you." Oh no. And kind of sat down and was kind of just looking around, and sociology popped up, and it just seemed, I don't know. There's this like thing in this universe that picks things for you sometimes, and it picked. So, and I did a couple of classes of it. You and this mic. I did a couple of classes and really enjoyed it, and got to see like what the classes were going to be going forward and the trajectory. And I really enjoyed the things that I got to experience and learn. So sociology is where I stayed.
Tell us about when you got back, you decided to settle down here, and what you did first, like community work, or how'd you got re-involved after being away from college?
Yeah, I came back and was job hunting and couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. And my daddy saw this job with the Arc of the Piedmont. And I had at no point in my entire life thought about working with adults with disabilities. And he was like, just try it. You never know. And I applied, interviewed, and got the position, and worked like 8 years in group homes working with adults with disabilities. And I think that was the most impactful job I've ever experienced. It taught me so much about like being person-centered and dignity and just treating people as human beings and as the human beings that they want to be treated as, regardless of whatever intellectual things they have going on. And just like, it taught me patience, because in my brain I was you're supposed to teach them life skills and not do the things for them. And I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. But when something that you could have done in 5 minutes is taking 20, you got to be patient. So that job taught me a lot about myself and about other human beings. And I will forever be grateful for that job. I needed to pay more. But
if you're just tapping in, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA. Price, Markey here, braving the cold with Charlsie Stratton. A big thanks to our friends, to our sponsors, Jefferson School Foundation, proud owner of the Jefferson School City Center. That's jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. Did I also read that you got an MBA?
Oh yeah,
yes,
I got one of those.
What?
At the same time as the sociology?
Why?
No.
Why?
Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. It's really helpful. I don't know. I'm gonna give me one.
Yeah, you got to spare
Listen,
spare
I support
70
you
grand.
in that endeavor. I got that. So I graduated with my sociology degree in 2002, and then worked, and got my MBA in 2013.
Oh wow!
So you went back to school.
I went back to school. And
with the eye on what?
So I had done some outside of the adults with disabilities, I had also worked in another nonprofit and did some early childhood education work, parenting education work. And I think when I originally went back, I had this like dream of starting my own nonprofit around, I don't even know, something around parent education or something. Sure. Yeah, and was like, I don't really know much about business, so let's see. And found Avery University had a satellite campus here in Charlottesville for whatever reason. And
this reason.
And I'm a very much an in-person learner, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I don't have to do it online. I can actually go to class, and I got an MBA.
Did you use the skills from that to talk us a little bit about Birth Sisters and how that went hand in hand with the MBA, maybe?
I think it certainly has helped. I will be completely honest, like the business side of things is not where my brain defaults to. I'm definitely a human servicey, like touchy-feely kind of human. So it's not where my brain defaults to, but I think being in that coursework helped me figure out how to switch my brain into the business side. So it has certainly helped with like the Birth Sister side of things, and also in my current job, my full-time job with the city, like that kind of organizational culture and structure and all of that kind of stuff was certainly helpful from my MBA. Yeah. Can
you tell us how Birth Sisters came about? Were you sitting at the table one day, a napkin, and you and your co-founders were like, "This is what we need in Charlottesville"?
Well, there was another organization in town before Birth Sisters, and all of us co-founders were a part of that organization, and it disbanded. And 4 of us were sitting around and we're like, we can't let this work die. Like the disparity is so significant. The mission is so important. We wanted to keep mamas and babies of color alive in this town and surrounding area. And so we were like, I guess we're going to continue this.
I guess we're going to put a business together.
The way we look at each other still, like
we supposed to be doers. We ain't supposed to be business people. We ain't put no business together.
And at one point we had no idea that it was going to end up being a nonprofit and being an actual business. We were looking for fiscal sponsors and like other people to do that stuff. And we met with a consultant, and she was like, y'all could just do this. And we were like, all right, she believes in us. So we did it, and here we are 5 years later.
Oh, wow.
Happy
anniversary.
How do you
6 maybe
balance the and this is my I wear my biases very loudly and proudly, but this is the kind of thing that should be bigger, should be better funded, should be all of the things, right? How do you balance sort of the purity of the ability to do the work well with all of the other things that go into managing a nonprofit, which I assume you certainly have another job.
Yeah.
The rest of your co-founders, is this anyone's sole job?
Yeah, so one of our co-founders, Doreen, she is our only full-time employee.
Right, like that, right there, right? Like that's your record
Everybody
scratch, right?
Everybody else gotta go to work at night.
But that's like, and so like that's the record scratch moment where like that fundamentally feels crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think, Doreen and I, we meet every week. We talk all the time. I talk to her every day probably. And I think it's kind of back to that, like, this is our town. This is
sure.
This is it. We just really believe in the work and in what needs to happen. And so we continue to push forward and find ways. But it is crazy that, like, for the volume of work that is happening at Birth Sisters, for us to only have one full-time employee right now,
sure,
is bonkers. But for some, wonderful universal reason, it continues, and we, continue to find funding and continue to push through and be able to support moms. And we've never had to like put a mom on a waiting list.
Yeah.
So it is crazy, but somehow.
Let me. I have one like one question that I'm very interested in your take on, and then I want you to tell people more about what Birth Sisters is and then what you guys actually do. Yeah. So what you just mentioned, I think, is really interesting, right? Having to never put anyone on a waiting list and sort of the volume of work that's happening with what I think everyone would agree is like a skeleton staff. Mm-hmm. So is there, or has there ever been that fleeting thought of like, can you preserve depth and grow, right, at the scale that you need to grow at? Or is there some tipping point where you're like, the best thing for us to do is to do more with these 3 because we can't take 4, 5, 6, right? Like, how do you balance that in an environment that we all understand is like, you know, the depth of need, I would guess largely from the folks you're working with, it varies, but can be very intense. Sure. And can be time consuming, and it's obviously very emotionally draining. Like, at some point, there can't be enough of like you. And I don't mean like just you, but I mean like, you know, and I mean you from like a geographical standpoint, like you can't be there and there, but also like you gotta come back tomorrow and Monday, right? Like, you know, is there, and so again, like, I think you almost become a victim of your own success at some point where now you're like, okay, cool, we're ripping and running. And then you look and you go, like we can't get to where we need to get to, right? And, oh, by the way, most of us are volunteering.
Well, so our doulas are paid a stipend. So that kind of helps with some of that bolstering around them having to work. But it's true. Like we Doreen and I have certainly had conversations about like what happens when.
Sure.
And I think what we keep coming back to is, I'll also say this, like Birth Sisters, because of the nature of what we do and the uniqueness of it, we get pulled in so many different directions. Like, that's right. There are a lot of folks that want to partner and do things and have us do things. And at one point we were just like everywhere, like trying to do all the things with all the people. And what we ended up coming to is that that's not the core work. The core work is being able to be there for our mothers and those families. And so we've really taken kind of put up a boundary around making sure that the core work is the center of Birth Sisters, and the other things are prioritized, and we make sure that we can do that core work very well, and the other things we want to make sure we do them well, and so we don't do them all.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the role of a doula is and how it's helpful to mothers and families?
Yeah, so there's kind of a distinction between a regular doula and a community-based doula. All of our doulas are trained to be community-based doulas. The difference being that a community-based doula really has to be present for a lot of those life things that come up. We often kind of, not joke, but joke that we teeter the line in our scope of what we are actually doing. A lot of our families, a number of our families, just have other stuff going on because life be lifing. And so we have to figure out resources and support families in connecting to those things and helping them navigate systems. And so that is generally outside of the scope of a regular doula. So the community-based part is where we are out there with families doing those things with them. And then the doula work is that we provide at least 2 prenatal visits with families to just kind of help them know what's happening with their pregnancy, with their baby, and help with like any childbirth education, birth planning, that kind of stuff, getting them prepared for the actual birth. And then we are there for the birth. And then we provide at least 2 postpartum visits to make sure everybody's settled and has what they need and all of those things. So it's depending on when we get a mama, it can be, you know, we've known somebody for a day, or it could be a whole.
Have you gotten calls from people who are like right on the verge of having the baby?
I have gotten a call from a midwife who was at a birth in Stanton, and she said, I think we need a doula. And I said,
Lord.
Okay.
What?
And I went to Stanton, and 2 hours later we had a baby, and it was beautiful. It was one of my favorite births. It was beautiful.
Was it because at that moment they were like, oh, dang, I think we should have been thinking about a doula this whole, and it's the last minute, and we need somebody to.
Yeah, they. What she said was that they felt like Mama was a little stalled, like her. Birth ain't comfortable, and sometimes. What I tell mamas is that this is the most pain you'll ever be in to get something so beautiful. But sometimes that pain just wins and birth can stall out. And she had kind of slowed down and was just not moving as she had been. And the midwife just said, I think she just needs some extra support to get over this hurdle. So we did it.
Is a midwife similar to a doula?
A midwife is medical.
Okay.
So they can do almost all of the things that a doctor can do in terms of birthing a baby. And we are not medical at all. We are just there for comfort measures, support, emotional, physical. Like the actual birth is a very hands-on experience for a doula. So we're there for all of those things.
I always want to know the difference.
Yeah. People ask all the time.
Yeah, it's a good question. I watched. Right, I was a passive participant in both of those.
I'm sure dads enjoy the doula. Like, wow, someone else is here. Mm-hmm.
I love.
No, we had
a midwife?
We had the fine folks at Martha Jefferson who did a wonderful job, and now I have
thanks God.
two kids with the flu. So thanks, folks.
Shout out.
Big shout to Jefferson OB. You guys are wonderful. If you want to tap in and give us some help now, 6 years later, we'd love to have you. If you're just joining us, this is Envision Radio from the 90 of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise News Radio 989, 1070 AM WINA. Price Markey here with Charlsie Stratton, and a big thanks to our friends, our sponsors, the Jefferson School Foundation. That is jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. What is the do you have any sense of sort of the typical engagement? Is it more prenatal? Is it more postnatal? I mean, or is it it is everything, but is there, does it tend to skew one direction or the other?
Sure.
How does that kind of work out for you guys?
Yeah, it feels ever changing right now, honestly. I think when we first started, we were seeing a lot of just that regular. We built our package of visits off of what we had been seeing. The two prenatals, birth, and then the 2 postpartum. And that was just what we saw. We saw people come to us with enough time to do that. We are starting to see our postpartum mamas that need increase, which has been very interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just coming to us for postpartum support. We weren't with them during the pregnancy.
Oh, like no relationship up to that point.
Oh, I thought you meant like you've been with this person the whole time. They're like, actually, I know you said 2 sessions, but can we have 4?
Extended, yeah.
Well, and that was my next question is like, given what sort of the market is telling you, and market in air quotes, how does that change the nature of the business, right? So if you built your sort of initial foray on like, here's what we know as experts, but here's what people are saying, right? And here's how we make the product something people want. Has that changed? Like, are you like, ooh, 2 needs to be 4, 2 needs to be 12. We need to sort of reconstitute what we thought kind of the breadth of it was given what we're seeing from the moms who we work with.
Yeah. I think we've always had an extended postpartum support part of our program. We just hadn't had many takers.
Really?
Yeah. Black folk don't know how to get help.
No, that's true.
They don't know how to ask for help.
That's very true.
And there's that like kind of stigma around being a mama. Like you got to do it. You got to do it yourself.
How much of that is cultural? Like that? Like generational.
Yeah.
Right.
I do think there's something to that. Like I think, We've always done it. Black women have always been out here taking care of babies and not just our own. And we're supposed to know how to do it, and we're supposed to do it. And
I think it's like we've always made it, and we're gonna continue to make it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that, but I think there's 2 questions that are inherent to that, which are very interesting to me. One, what does make it mean, right? And 2, something that you said, which I find to be a very interesting question. Being a parent, you just walk out of the hospital with a person.
For sure.
Like they just go.
It's weird.
You know what they do is
they just let you have it.
I know, like I'm not even kidding. The lady like very lightly like tugged on the seatbelt straps and was like, "Okay, bye."
Bye.
And I was like,
"Yeah."
I was like, "Lady, hold on, time out." Like,
I saw someone say they don't tell you how to keep it alive; they just let you leave. Like that is so true.
They don't, and so I think that's a really interesting question, right? Of like, you know, this theory of like parenthood being such a dynamic and like incredibly fraught experience, even at its easiest, it's very weird. And so thinking about just that question of like, how do you know what to do? From sometimes things that we'd be like, oh yeah, that's simple. Like, yes, the kid sleeps on his back in a crib without a pillow, and like that feels like a thing. But the only reason I know that is because one, I had that. Right, but that's what I'm saying, though, right? And you don't have to demonstrate that you know that to leave the hospital or leave the place with another human. You don't have to demonstrate any like.
They don't give you no papers or nothing.
Now they kind of like
print
talk
out
to you
your
about
my chart.
sleep,
Yeah. No, they show you a "Don't Shake the Baby" video. I don't know why I got so animated
they show you
about
a video?
this, but this drove me crazy. They were like, "Did you watch the video?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they were like, "It's like this '80s video of like, if you get mad, like, don't throw it." And I was like, "That's it? That's the only advice you have for me?" And they're like, "Yep, see you later. Stop by Wawa on your way out." So anyway, I'm only saying that to say that for you guys, is that are you finding that a lot of the support is content knowledge or just like the qualitative sort of emotionality of dealing with what is an incredibly, joyful, but also it's a upheaval.
Yeah, it's the emotional piece.
Okay.
I think babies come with sleep deprivation, right? So people are not sleeping, and when you're not sleeping, it's hard. Life is harder, and so it's the emotional piece that I think a lot of folks are looking for. And I think there is some tangible supports around like, can you please hold this baby and make sure it eats and is clean while I take this nap? So I think those are the things that people are looking for, and recognizing that it's okay to ask for a little bit of support. Like, you don't have to do this alone. I think, Birth Sisters really tries to express that like it's a village, from how we support our doulas to how we support our families. Like, nobody is doing this alone. Our doulas have like 24/7 access to Doreen and I. We get texts in the middle of the night that somebody's at a birth. So everybody has access to somebody, and we want to make sure our mamas have the same.
So your organization sits, it exists because of so many inequities, historically speaking. What progress have you seen being made in this space while you've done your work, the organization before this, and where do we still need more help, more service? What do we need to do to get out there and fix these inequities that make your job so hard, right?
Yeah. I mean, there has definitely been a significant push statewide, nationally, around doula work and understanding that it does save lives, and that having an advocate in the space and in the room and somebody who is there specifically to support moms and families and pay attention, that saves lives. So that progress has been palpable and is wonderful to see. I think one of the things that Birth Sisters says is that they'll like data and things will say that that race is a risk factor, and we do not believe that. Race is not a risk factor. Just because you are Black does not mean that you are at any more risk. Racism is the risk factor. And so I think until we, as a whole and a totality in all the systems that exist, all of them, until we acknowledge that racism is the problem, we're going to keep having to fight the fights.
Yeah, I was just now thinking about the data. I was like, the data shows X, but those things aren't happening in a vacuum, right? Those things are happening because of this historical inequity based in medicine. Yeah. It's the medicine. So I always read an article where it's like, yes, did you know that they do these things to Black people medically? Like, I think I saw an article about, I don't know if it was the finger monitor or they adjust something because of your race, but or maybe it was like a kidney test, and it was like, if you're black, the kidney test says this is a good number for you, but white people, that number is bad, and you need to get placed on a list. Right. And I was like, medical racism, and I was like, this is really bad. This is really crazy. Yeah. And so I just think about like, do you find yourselves in room having to explain the data to people?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it can be really frustrating. But I think we'll continue to do it because we have seen people's perspectives shift once they fully understand what is happening.
Do you have data on all of your cases or all of your families, and compared to the general public? Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming is it way?
It's way better. It's way better. We've never lost a mom.
Oh yes.
And we've had one infant death, which is way better than.
Oh well.
Yeah.
And what would you ascribe? That to? Is that what is that, right? Is it all qualitative? Is it? Well, I have a contextual question before I ask that question. Are most of the births that you guys attend and support happening at homes? Are they happening in hospitals? Are people not going to the hospital? Where are you most often?
The hospitals.
You're in the hospital. And so how is that? I'm sure that relationship has ebbed and flowed and sort of evolved. Mm-hmm. Is it mostly positive, mostly awkward, mostly... how do you find sort of working inside of a system that I think, depending on who you are and your experiences, could argue is to a degree Hippocratic and largely to a degree, it's sort of massive money-making enterprise.
Yeah.
How does that fit again, just into the understanding of the context of what gets billed and how it gets billed, and I mean, there's a lot going on at one time. Mm-hmm. And so, how have you guys evolved in your practice of that, of just like, and again, my N is 2, like I've seen it twice, I've been in it twice, but it is like everything's beeping, that person's yelling, yeah. There's 3,000 things happening at once. And as someone who is sort of like awake but has no medical experience, it's very easy to be like, yeah, all right, cool. Like you went to school for 35 years, figure it out. Yeah. So like, how do you mediate sort of all of the personalities in the room and the dynamic and kind of make sure that, again, your focus is on getting the thing right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why everybody should have a doula, because that is essentially what we do. We are there. We get to take the familial relationship out of it. And we are there to monitor the things that are beeping. We are there to listen to what the doctors are saying and be like, I need you to explain that a little bit more. And to be able to say, like, Price, did you hear what the doctor said? Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
And you can say, no, it does not. And we'll say, okay, so he didn't get that. Can you please explain that a different way? So we're there to make sure everybody in the space who needs to understands what's happening in the moments and can make informed decisions about what's going to happen to that baby and what's going to happen to that mama. And we're there to I tend to stay for at least a couple of hours after a birth, and I just warn parents that I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to stare at you. Yeah. I'm just going to watch you because I love that. Yeah. And they're it's fine because they're loving their baby.
Yeah, sure. And
that's the thing,
and they just want to go to sleep anyway. Yeah. You can stare at all you want. I'm going to take a nap.
They don't care. Yeah. And it's because everybody's so excited that there's this brand new sweet little baby, but nobody's really paying that much attention to if mom is sweating too much or... so that's what we're there for. We're there to be the eyes in the room, but not to take over anything. We're not there to overstep and to, be in your way or in your business. But we are there to make sure that everybody comes out of that hospital room.
Yeah. And that's well received by the hospital systems themselves, or at least the practitioners.
It's much better received now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work navigating those relationships and building those relationships. And I think that's part of the hard work of being an advocate in this space and doing the work. You have to figure out how to balance the relationship piece with everybody. so that you can continue to go into those spaces and work with those people.
Right. Yeah. If you are just joining us, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA. Price, Marky. Check out my own name.
Place.
My goodness gracious. It's me, Place. Marky and Charlsie Stratton here. And big thanks to our sponsors, our friend, the Jefferson School Foundation. That is jeffersonschoolfoundation.org to learn more and to stay connected. How is it? How does it work, sort of operationally, with regards to like you're just like with them? They're just like, we're going to Martha Jefferson. You're like, let's ride. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it feels like there's sort of these.
Let's ride.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like there's these like it makes sense and it makes a lot of sense, but it just seems like there's all these, especially in medicine, there's so many like barriers and hurdles. And did you sign this? And do we know you? And all this, right? Like, how have you? It feels like a thing that, again, with a very small staff, it feels like one of those weird things that like totally makes sense. Data supports it. Heart-led people doing it, but there's so much like bureaucracy and nonsense. Is that true? Or is it less than I think it is? Because every time something medical, it's like, I got to sign 85,000 things. Yeah. They're like, you didn't tell your wife that she could come pick you up from the hospital. I'm like, oh, she's here now. Can I leave? Like, can you just let this woman take me? Like, you know? Yeah. So I don't, maybe it's less than that, but it just feels like it could potentially be like a very complicated enterprise, as all things healthcare are. Yeah.
I mean, so we have 10-ish doulas in various capacities. And so they don't really have to do a ton of the like bureaucratic stuff.
Sure.
Doreen and I tend to navigate those things, and we do, have communication with the doulas and be like, does this work for y'all?
Yeah, right.
But in general, like, they get to establish those relationships with the family, the mama and the family, and they don't really have to do too much of the like paperwork and signing things with like hospitals and that kind of thing. We do ask like that our families share with their doctor that they have a doula.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the name.
Yeah. And as long as our families have figured out the plan for having that doula in the room, they just go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Do you find that this work crosses over into your work with the city or vice versa?
Yep. I do. And I definitely try to balance that. Just because, the work with the city can be tough. Yeah. It's not quite the rainbows that having a sweet little newborn is sometimes. So yeah, it can be difficult, but it is helpful to know like some of the resources and things that come with my job with the city, and being able to help families and our doulas access or navigate or just know about those things is certainly very helpful.
Do you have a doula training program as a part of Birth Sisters? How often do you do that?
So what we've done in the past is we have consulted out and had a trainer come in.
Oh, okay.
And right now we are having our doulas, any doula that is a member of Birth Sisters, they are being trained. I'm touching the mic.
You get it. Just hers is the only. We set her at the trap mic. If you move yours,
Sweet.
you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we rigged hers to. Yeah.
Sorry,
this is the only one that's broke.
Yeah. All of our doulas are going through training that is approved by the state.
Okay.
So that is how we've been training doulas. We, of course, would love to be a training entity at some point. And, once we've figured out our staffing and all the things and have built some capacity, we will get there.
What are something you do? All of our jobs, human services can be tough. How do you balance that at home? What are some things that you do to unwind and step away from the work sometimes?
Yeah. I am incredibly blessed to have a great circle around me. Family and friends. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I have some great human beings in my life who humor me in all the things. And I love a good craft. I can be convinced to do any craft at any point.
Making a little something?
Listen, just ask me. I'll do it. Cookie decorating has been my new thing, and it's
I love it.
Turn your brain off and just decorate a cookie.
I went to a cake making little
Cake
class.
making?
So you had to decorating, I guess. It was
okay.
It was like 3 inches. And I was like, this is the best thing they need to put these everywhere.
Everywhere.
I want to do this every day. It was so fun, yeah. And I'm about to go to one for Galentine's Day at Bloom.
Bloom?
Yes, I'm doing their Galentine's cake decorating.
Okay.
For Valentine's Day. I don't know, I just love the idea of
They're doing a cookie decorating one on the 11th.
Oh.
I'll be there.
She's like, not the cake.
Are you guys particular about your pastries? Like you're not decorating cakes? You're only
I
cookies?
do decorate cakes too.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You were just very much like I'm doing
doing
cookie
cookies.
decorating.
Well,
Don't be acting
you
like
keep that cake over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna decorate cookies.
The cookies are just a little bit more tedious and like
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, like
So they're
detailed. And you gotta like you're trying to make it look like something. Like
I feel like a cake looks like something.
Interesting.
well, like a character.
Well, it's like meant to be like a reindeer
Right.
or something.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
exactly.
yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
a dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like it has to have features that are recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do the cakes too.
I love a little hobby too.
Okay, like what?
I like doing puzzles. I love a black-owned puzzle or a puzzle with black people in it. I love a cake decorating. My sister does baking, and she bakes stuff for me.
Okay.
So I like trying bake good from other people.
I like sampling.
That's a great
baked
hobby.
goods.
I love that.
Yeah, I like clay. I think clay. I was trying to get into clay.
How'd that go?
It hasn't gone. It's about the stuff.
Hasn't gone.
I made little stuff, but not like.
You need a wheel.
I
was
do
about to say,
need a
you got
wheel.
a whole thing,
I
yeah.
need a wheel.
Oh wow.
Every time I see people with a wheel, they look like dusty though. I'm like,
It is. It's not clean.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
is.
like,
It is.
no,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, don't wear your good clothes.
Yeah, it's part of the experience, though, right? Yeah. All right, very good.
Do you have hobbies? Do you even have hobbies, Prince? I don't even know what he do outside of work.
What does he do?
He go to work
I'm
and then he go home to the kids.
That is part of it's kid stuff. I'm a Lego person. I always have been.
I have a lot of Legos
And
too.
so yeah, we've got some complicated Legos. With my daughter, who's 5, has now gotten into it with me. We bought a 3D printer for her too, and so we are, so my father is like this. I think that my hobby is just as like a tinkerer.
Yeah.
Right, and that comes in the Lego space, but it comes in like my dishwasher broke recently, and I was like, yes, like let's go.
wanna be a
Pulled the whole
handyman
thing
so
out, took it
bad.
all apart, all the stuff. My lawnmower broke, I took the engine apart, like
Oh
that
my
kind
God.
of thing. Right, for me, there's just something to like figuring out how things work, and I think certainly for me in this era of kind of, and this is like old man yells at cloud, but I think some of this era for me of like it becomes so easy not to know how to do anything, and I think I'm deathly afraid of like just not knowing how to do stuff and like simple stuff. Like it's probably not efficient for me to mow my lawn. I will never not do it. I just can't cede like the ability to do things, right? And so I was thinking about this the other day where I was like, like a stove or something. I was like, okay, I could call someone to fix it, but I was like, and my wife's like, dude, we have to cook something. I'm like, da 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 da. Like,
Got it.
every tool, 8 trips to Lowe's.
Please.
I'm as happy as I can be, right? But I think for me, there's something about that of just like I really like want to know
I can fix it.
how it works, right? And inevitably, did I fix the stove? Absolutely not. but learned a couple lessons. There's something to that for me, and I think I'm just very responsive to this. Like it's just so like no one has to know how to do anything. We don't have to write anything. We don't have to write. And so, I'm trying to figure out how to live in that world of like information overload where like I don't even have to write my own like speeches anymore. I'm just like, ChatGPT, read the stuff I've published, write about this topic in my voice. That to me feels like not very much fun.
Yeah.
You want to do the thing.
I want to be able to do the stuff. Yeah.
I do feel that with the writing piece. I have never used ChatGPT because of that.
Right?
I think we need to write.
Right?
Yeah.
As
I think
the illiterate
there's generally
rate,
something to
literacy
that,
rate goes down. We need to be writing.
But that's
Truly,
why.
well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
right.
No, I
We
think
need to
that's
be
I think
right.
that's part of it. Let me ask you a question, and sort of your human services work and your work with folks in the city, and also your doula work. Like, how big are the Venn diagram circles, and do they overlap?
Yeah.
And then the second part of that question is, in the places where they overlap, are you looking going, we should have solved this by the time I saw y'all here and I saw y'all again here? Right? Like, is there that kind of thing where you're like, there is some chasm so it's like the two Venn diagram circles that overlap a little bit. Like, what if they overlapped more in a way that like you do have this very unique sort of like experience at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I get, I assume sort of chronologically in the life of that person, the life of that kid, there's some latency, there's some gap.
Yeah.
And then maybe they come back and you're like, why? Like, why?
Sure.
Why?
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
do they inform each other? I mean, I know the answer to that's yes, but like, do they inform each other enough? And do they inform each other in sort of a way that you feel like they are as connected as they should be?
Yeah, they're not as connected as they should be. And I think what happens in my brain all the time is that I find us to be such a reactive society.
Totally.
Such a reactive society. Our systems are reactive. Like we know this thing is going to happen. And we sit here and we wait and we just watch until it happens. And then we're like, oh, the thing happened. Let's go do the thing and see if we can fix it. And it's like, why can't the proactive, can we please get on the front end? And I think that's why I love Birth Sisters so much, because I've done early intervention services, quotations, and Birth Sisters, supporting a mom and a baby before life even begins, how much earlier of an intervention?
That's as pre-work as you can
listen, we as proactive as we gonna be. And, you know, we've seen moms thrive because they've had that earliest of interventions. And I think, you know, the Venn diagram, it intersects and overlaps, and we don't do a good job in society of paying attention to those overlaps and allowing, you know, them to inform each other and supporting people. We just aren't good at it.
You know, you said something that I think is really interesting, and I want your take on this because I am sort of the resident cynic, as I've been told by many people.
That's true.
But you said, you know, our systems are reactive. Now, let me try and make an argument that they're reactive on purpose because it's easier to solve a problem than to prove the absence of a problem. Right? Okay. So it's easier to say, wow, all these little black kids can't read. Let's do all this intervention work. It's harder to be like, statistically, we know these are the kids who will have difficulties in 5 years. Let's invest a lot in them today. Right? I think that because of the way nonprofits work, because of the way that they're funded, and because of the incentives in the system, that's how that gets built out. Right? Yeah. We are not an ounce of prevention society. We are very much a pound of cure society. And if you want to be like doubly cynical, we're not even a pound of cure society. We're a 2 pounds of treatment society. For sure. Right? Yeah. But I wonder if there's a way to sort of deconstruct that because of what you guys are doing and the understanding that these moms that need X probably also need Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What if we just did that? What does that look like in the next phase of your work? Right? Yeah. What does that look like in sort of how all these systems connect? But I wonder if you share or at least co-sign parts of my cynicism that it's like that's how it's that by design. For sure. It is definitely by design. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I think that might be one of the things that has been interesting in as Birth Sisters has been navigating, like our data, the things that we collect are based off of like, this is what's happening in the state, in the whole state, and this is what's happening in what we are doing. And what we're doing is, well, we've never lost a mom, and the state's lost this many, right? Without, you know, so like, and that's the state, like without that work, for sure, right? And it's that comparative data that is sometimes hard for people. They're like, well, you can't prove that a mom was going to die, and it's like, and that's what I was going to, but you can't prove that. That's exactly. That's what I was saying. I was like, it's probably hard to prove that they wasn't just going to live anyway. Yeah, y'all didn't do nothing. Like, well, and this is I think this is the really interesting. And so again, like, so my training is in behavioral economics. And so it is that nexus between the economists that are like, there's no causal link to that kid's mortality, and the sociologists and the behaviorists that are like, yeah, but that's not the point. Right. And so, but I think that's a really, that is sort of where we live in that space, right? Because without sort of like the ability to be very causally robust, you'll have people that are like, well, the absence of the problem is not the solution. And then you have the behaviorists and even people like me that are like, yes, it is. Like, it is, right? We don't have to wait for folks to be involved with the law to support the things that we know got them involved with the law. Absolutely. Right? And so is there an advocacy place for you guys for, and let me add another thing to your plate, right? But like, I mean, you know, is that a part of it? Are you sort of taking that long arc too? Or is it really just like, look, we have to focus on like this, you know, 12-week period and get this right before we step out and kind of start to do the other stuff? No, I mean, we are definitely in that advocacy space because
And I think luckily, I don't know, fortunately, that there is some understanding in maternal health now that like doula work does the thing, and does keep people safe and here. And so, I think the advocacy work is continuing to push for hospitals to support the doula work and to not make it difficult for us to be there.
Right.
Funding. There is, there has been a change where doulas can now accept Medicaid.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So, like, there's some things that are happening to fortify doula work in Virginia. But it's certainly a labor. We are always sharing the data and sharing the information to ensure that our families have what they need and our doulas have what they need. So it's, we're out there.
Are you concerned about doing it too well in the hospital, just being like, we'll hire our own? Like, what is the sort of value proposition that girds you against the massive multi-billion-dollar healthcare system being like, all right, fine, like, cool, we'll just own it?
Yeah. I think I think that is certainly something that could happen, right? I think UVA could hire all the doulas in the world.
Yeah. Well, like, why haven't? I guess there's two questions. Like, do you yes, but also like, why? And I'm not saying why wouldn't they, and like why, but like why wouldn't, if it works so well, like why wouldn't they?
I think the one thing that comes to my mind is that Birth Sisters of Charlottesville is an all woman doula collective.
Yep.
And all of us are women of color.
Yep.
We have mostly Black doulas that support Black women, Spanish-speaking mamas that support Spanish-speaking, are supported by Spanish-speaking doulas. There we go. And I think that is unique, and I think that is important, and there is that cultural connectiveness, and that like she gets me, she understands me. I think that is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the community-driven part.
The community-driven
is
part.
Even if all the hospitals hired 10 doulas, okay, but are you able to come and see the mother after she tells us that she's not going to get the policy that you said 2 natals? That feel like, well, a hospital got to do that. They're going to do the 2 and say, okay, well, see you later. Y'all have an extended postpartum section of your programming that other large corporations just couldn't do in a community-based way.
For sure. And even prenatal, like, our doulas are seeing people way more than
that too. I'll be like, I guess the thing is, okay, go ahead and try it. Like, y'all can try it.
Yeah, I think there's something to the relational piece that comes with Birth Sisters, and I don't know that it can be duplicated on that kind of a scale. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's always like, then it gets monetized in some way that it shouldn't be, and welcome to America.
Welcome.
Is there what is the recommended sort of path for folks who you've seen come through Birth Sisters that have a lot of success? And that's not to say we can't sort of pick up at any place and it be sort of really robust, but is it really like soup to nuts, prenatal to postnatal? Is that's the best version of it? Like the depth of it, that's what that's what works best.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we could do a perfect
give me perfect.
I think if it were perfect, we would have a mama come to us as soon as she's knows she's pregnant.
Right. She gets the pregnancy test and she calls.
She's like, oh, hey, y'all.
Yeah, sure, no.
Yeah, as soon as she knows, and we can build that relationship, them and their doula can build that relationship, and we follow them through postpartum. And honestly, like an extended postpartum period would be great. Like start to finish, that first like year and a half.
Yeah.
If we could, I think that would be like ideal and beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that doable? Like how close are we to ideal?
We've done ideal.
Yeah.
We've had ideal for sure. I think part of it is people are so busy.
Yeah, sure.
So even our clients are like ripping and running and trying to find time to do the thing. So, We've done Ideal for sure, and we've done super close to Ideal.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
If people wanted to follow your work or learn more about what you all do, how can they get in touch with you?
Birth Sisters of Charlottesville on Facebook.
Hey.
Also on Birth Sisters Seville on Instagram. And then we do have a webpage, birthsisterseville.org. That's us.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Big thanks to you, Charlsie, for hanging out with us. It was lovely. Great to hear from you again. If you're looking for, and I mean, you shout out the city. Do we need to you want to get involved with that work too? You just want to keep it locked on the Birth Sisters?
Listen, shout out to the city. Hashtag payment bills.
Good. Yeah. Lovely folks over there. And
yes.
Obviously doing, a lot of hard and complicated work as well. Big thanks to Charlsie. Again, if you have ideas for the show or want to get in touch with us, you can check us out on social media on all platforms at United Way Seville, at City of Promise, or drop us a note. The inbox is open and vision at unitedwayseville.org. And give us those one more time. How do we keep in touch with you?
Birth Sisters of Charlottesville on Facebook, Birth Sisters Seville on Instagram, and birthsisterseville.org.
That is Charlsie Stratton. We get support on the show from all of you. If you like what you hear, share this with your friends, your colleagues, your strangers, and Target, whatever
and
works
your
for
enemies.
you. Yeah, even your enemies. We'll take all comers. You can find this show on all your favorite podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts. And again, best way to support us, best way to support our incredible local nonprofit, City of Promise, United Way, Birth Sisters, time, talent, treasure. That's how we continue to do our community-based work and this show. Big thanks again to our sponsor, Jefferson School Foundation, jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. For Marky, for Charlsie, this is Price. Stay warm. We will see you next week.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.